You stand there, small and silent, in the shadow of a doorframe. The air is thick with unspoken words, the kind that hang like storm clouds over a childhood home. You're 7, maybe 8, and the world feels too big, too heavy on your narrow shoulders. Your parents' eyes meet yours, not with warmth, but with a plea you don't yet understand. Fix this, they seem to say without speaking. And you do. You step forward, tiny hands reaching out to mend what was never yours to repair. The scent of dinner burning on the stove, the distant hum of traffic outside, it's all etched into you, a quiet scar that whispers, "You're responsible now." But what if that moment, that innocent act of love, planted seeds that would twist your path for decades? What if the survival strategies you learned as a child are the very chains binding your adult choices? You chase relationships that echo old pains, jobs that demand your soul, decisions wrapped in fear disguised as strength. It's the paradox of trauma. What saved you then now silently sabotages you. In this exploration, we'll uncover how childhood wounds weave into the fabric of your daily life, revealing eye-opening insights into patterns like parentification and hypervigilance. And perhaps, in understanding, you'll find the key to rewrite your story. Imagine the weight of a family on your back before you even learn to tie your shoes. This is parentification, the psychological term for when a child is thrust into adult roles, caring for siblings, managing household chaos, or emotionally supporting parents. It's not just babysitting. It's a reversal of roles that robs you of innocence. A study on adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, from the CDC, reveals that such early burdens increase the risk of mental health issues in adulthood by up to 12 times. Emotional neglect, another silent thief, occurs when your needs for affection and validation go unmet, leaving you to fend for yourself in a world that feels indifferent. Then there's hypervigilance, that constant state of alert wired into your nervous system. Born from unpredictable environments, perhaps yelling matches or absent caregivers, it keeps you scanning for threats, even in safe spaces. Research from Cleveland Clinic explains how this stems from trauma, turning your body into a perpetual watchdog, exhausting your energy and clouding judgment. These concepts aren't abstract. They're the invisible threads pulling at your decisions, from choosing partners who need fixing to overworking in a culture of hustle that praises burnout. Why do these patterns persist? Because trauma rewires the brain. Studies show that childhood adversity makes emotional centers more reactive, disconnecting them from logical regulation, leading to fear-based choices. It's like living with a faulty compass, always pointing towards survival rather than joy. Picture Sarah, not her real name, but her story echoes in therapy rooms across America. As a girl in a bustling Midwest suburb, she became her mother's confidant after her father's departure. Late nights listening to adult woes, soothing tears with hugs that should have been hers to receive. Now, in her 30s, Sarah climbs corporate ladders with relentless drive, but her relationships crumble. She attracts partners who drain her, mirroring that old role. "I thought I was strong," she whispers in reflection, but it's hyper-independence, a mask for the fear of vulnerability. Or consider Alex, raised in the chaos of urban apartments where addiction ruled. He learned to tiptoe around moods, predicting storms before they hit. Today, as a tech worker in Silicon Valley, he scans emails for hidden criticisms, works through weekends to avoid failure. His body hums with anxiety, a remnant of hypervigilance that once kept him safe, but now isolates him in a sea of social media connections that feel superficial. And then there's the metaphor of the caged bird, feathers clipped early, who forgets how to fly even when the door swings open. You were that bird, conditioned to stay small, to please, to anticipate. These stories aren't rare. They're the undercurrent of workaholism in boardrooms and the quiet resentment bubbling in family dinners. What if your drive for success is really a flight from the child who felt unseen? Rhetorical echoes. Have you ever wondered why kindness feels like a burden? Why boundaries taste like betrayal? In adulthood, these shadows manifest as paradoxes. Your hyper-independence shouts, "I don't need anyone," yet loneliness gnaws at you like an unhealed wound. Parentification breeds people-pleasers who neglect themselves, leading to resentment that simmers beneath polite smiles. Studies on parentification highlight long-term effects like difficulty setting boundaries and chronic anxiety, turning helpers into hidden sufferers. You might chase dopamine through endless scrolling or high-stakes jobs, mistaking busyness for purpose, a loop rooted in trauma's rewiring. Hypervigilance amplifies this, making trust a battlefield. You second-guess choices, from career moves to friendships, fearing the rug will be pulled. It's the dark side of resilience. What armored you as a child now suffocates your growth. Carl Jung once said, "Everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is." Your trauma is that shadow, influencing decisions you attribute to just who I am. But here's the twist. Awareness cracks the code. Recognizing these patterns, like choosing safety over passion in careers, opens doors to change. Delve deeper, and you'll find the origins in conditioning. Childhood trauma doesn't just happen, it imprints. Neglect teaches you love is earned through service, birthing adult codependency. Unstable homes foster hypervigilance, rewiring your amygdala, the brain's alarm system, to overreact. It's nervous system alchemy. Fight or flight becomes your default, skewing choices toward avoidance or impulse. The impacts ripple outward. Moral decision-making shifts. Research indicates trauma leads to risk aversion or ethical dilemmas clouded by fear. In a U.S. gripped by mental health trends, this explains surges in therapy for inner child work, reparenting the parts of you left behind. Repetitive motif. The child tugs at your sleeve, whispering, "Remember me?" Again and again, in every rushed decision, every guarded heart. What if embracing that child is the path to freedom? That 7-year-old staring into chaos, they're still with you, guiding choices from the shadows. But what saved you then imprisons you now, until you choose differently. You've seen how parentification molds martyrs, hypervigilance builds walls, and neglect fosters voids filled with fleeting highs. The paradox dissolves in light. Trauma shapes, but doesn't define. For healing, start small. Inner dialogue. Speak to your younger self with the kindness denied. Set boundaries, not as walls, but as bridges to authentic connections. Journal the patterns. Therapy unravels the knots. Studies affirm that mindfulness rewires those neural paths, fostering resilience. In a world of workaholism and digital burnout, reclaim your choices. You're not broken, you're evolving. Reflect. What if your next decision honors the child, not the wound? If this resonated, subscribe for more deep dives into the human mind. Like, comment your thoughts below. Let's heal together. Words. Childhood trauma effects, adult decision-making psychology, parentification healing, hypervigilance symptoms, inner child work, young shadow self, mental health boundaries, trauma recovery stories.